time. Never? I think there was once. 4 years ago, didn't I take it? You always do this. You never do that. Those are not truthful statements. It is also not truthful. Okay, this is getting a little extreme. Something you will not hear me say is, I don't remember. Because literally, from a biological standpoint, you remember everything from the moment of your birth. Some would say from the moment of your conception, or at least some point as you were developing in your mom's womb, you started remembering things. Right now, you remember every sound, every smell, everything that's occurred to you in all your life. Now, you might not recall it at this moment, but you do remember it. So if you say to someone, geez, I can't remember, that's literally not true. That's a lie. It's also a destructive lie. Because when you say, I can't remember, you're saying, my brain has limited power. No. There is no supercomputer, no cray, no supercomputer on Earth comes close to the processing and memory storage capabilities of your brain right now. We have such a phenomenal resource. We don't forget anything. So don't say, I can't remember. Personally, what I say is, I don't recall. Because that's actually fact. It's in there. I'm not pulling it out right now. I might not be remembering at this moment what that phone number is, but it's in there. Power talkers tell the truth in every instance. And you know, I started off at the beginning of our program tonight saying that you wouldn't learn anything new. And I hope so far, everything I've touched on, you've said, no, I noticed that. When someone says, I'll tell you the truth, you get a little suspicious of them right away. The 8th trait of power talkers is that they remember the basics. And we're talking real basics that are very infrequently practiced for some reason. The first is that power talkers remember the basics by using other people's names. In moderation, caution. And I add this caution because I remember shooting a video series in Denver. I was in a TV studio. The producer's name was Joe. And Joe said, it was a 12-hour video series. Joe said, George, this is going to be such a fantastic program. You have just great material here. George, I've been all through your outline. I see all the points you're going to cover. George, they are so right on. It's going to be great. And George, you know, there's one thing I noticed in looking over your outline that you didn't specifically focus on. And George, I want to encourage you to add this chunk of material because, George, it is so important. Because after all, George, I sell myself. And one of the most powerful things any salesperson can do, George, I'm sure you've noticed this yourself, is to use the other person's name. And I'm thinking, don't say it again, not one more time. You know, nails on the blackboard, George, 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 George. It's like fake, 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 phony, fake, manipulative. So I suggest 3 times. When the other person says their name the first time, say it right then. Say it back. Scott, it's a pleasure to meet you. At some point during the conversation, say it once. The last thing in the conversation, Scott, I enjoyed talking with you. Just 3 times is fine. Oh. How many people here would say, you're really not that good with remembering names? My hand's up. This is an area that I personally work on. Excellent. Thank you very much. Please come pick up this book at the break. Excellent. Thank you for catching me. Very good. I have difficulty recalling names. So, you know the situation. Oh, what's that guy's name? I know it. What's his name? And you always coming over. Oh, what am I going to say? You know, I hate to say, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name. You hope somebody else will say it. And you go, oh, that's right, it's Dave. Or you could say, I'm so sorry, you have to excuse me. I'm just terrible with names. I'm a klutz, you know, I'm an idiot. Why not do this? Why not say, hey, great to see you, George Walther. Because when you extend your hand and extend your name, hey, chances are he's over there going, what's that guy's name? When you walk over and say your name, their natural reaction, of course, is to say their name back to you. They're probably feeling relieved that you volunteered your name. Instead of going around beating yourself up saying, oh, I'm just terrible with names, I can't recall names. Instead, walk over and announce your name. That puts the other person at ease. They say your name, and it's all taken care of. Power talkers practice the basics, and they use other people's names. Power talkers also, they make mistakes. And when they do, they apologize, and they admit it. I don't know why, those people in the other room, the losers, somehow they got it in their heads that admitting to a mistake makes them look bad. It's not the case. When you admit to a mistake, I know I'm dealing with a printer right now and a designer. I'm doing a redesign of my logo, and my whole corporate look is I'm kind of rebranding myself. And I just was reviewing the proofs that come from the printer, and I go, hey, what about the red bar along the bottom? And this guy, Scott Michelson, looked at me and said, that's my mistake. We left that out. I don't think, oh, he's terrible. He made a mistake. I think, okay, this is a guy that's confident enough that can say, oops, glad you caught that. I made that mistake. I think more of him. My esteem for him elevates when someone admits a mistake. Don't you find that to be the case? Isn't it refreshing when someone says, this is my responsibility? Power talkers remember the basics and admit when they're wrong. And power talkers, boy, how basic could this be? Power talkers say thank you. I had an experience just before we began this program that reminded me of the simple ways it makes a big difference to say thank you. I found this amazing. I buy most of my garments at the Men's Warehouse. And I don't know if those of you who shop at Men's Warehouse, yes, it's excellent value. Yes, there are lots of stores and all that. I notice, though, that the way they treat me so often makes me feel good about doing business there. And one little secret surprise is that any garment you buy at Men's Warehouse, they will press for you at any time for free. Now, when you have a garment dry cleaned, the fabric deteriorates and it's harmful. You shouldn't dry clean everything all the time. You should have it pressed, dry clean, press, dry clean. So, I drive in with my clothes to be proud. I think this is wonderful. They press for free. Not only that, they press out of town for free. So just before we began this evening, I dropped my suit off at the Men's Warehouse over on Lake Orchard Road, and they pressed it. Orchard Lake Road. And just before we began this program, I took the suit off the hanger, and inside was a note, handwritten from Amar Jargis. Thank you for giving me the chance to serve you. He's thanking me for pressing my suit for free. Am I going back? I buy everything from them. It's the little touches. Expressing appreciation doesn't happen often enough. We all... Okay. Close your eyes for just a moment in deep contemplation. Close your eyes. Think back over your life. Think of all the good things you've done for other people. Think of that. You weigh it out, all the years of your life. What good things have you done for others? Okay, now think about the appreciation you have received from others. All your life. Okay, those of you who have received more appreciation than you deserve, raise your hand, please. Okay, there are always a couple people who don't understand the question. None of us get the appreciation we deserve, and our customers are just like us. We're going through life going, hey, I do a lot of good stuff. I don't get appreciated much. When someone says, thank you for giving me the pleasure of pressing your suit for free, like, yeah, I've been waiting for this. I'll go back. Power talkers express appreciation. What did you come here for tonight?
To learn.
I'm glad you came here to learn. I'm glad you came here for education. I hope you came here because you want to do something with this. But what? I got a game plan for you. What can you do right now? My hope, of course, is at this point that you remember many of the substitutions we've talked about, that you review your notes. Some of you will get really serious and watch the video and listen to the CDs and really put it into practice. But to make this be a reality, a part of your daily life, which, as I say, I work on every day. Don't think you're going to hear this once and go, oh, yeah, I'll never say that again. Here's some steps I want to encourage you to take. First is to notice yourself and others, and you will. The next person who says to you, well, to be honest, you'll definitely notice. The next time when someone says, I'll have to call you back, you're going to be thinking, you know, that would sound a lot better if you said, I'd like to call you back. The next time someone says, you know, I've really got a problem with this customer, you're going to be thinking, you know, you'd have a much more positive approach to things if you said, I have a challenge with this customer's account. The next greeter at a restaurant who says, I can't seat you until 9:30, you're going to be thinking, you know, you could have said, I'll be glad to seat you at 9:30. You will notice yourself and others. I invite you to select an office supporter. Perhaps you have a colleague here who's gone through the same curriculum that we have done today. If not, then tomorrow do your own little training session. And for those of you tomorrow who go back and kind of give a little mini seminar, you could bite it off. You could take it, say, like one phrase at a time. Let's go through the 50 phrases one at a time. And you say to those around you, please help me. I'm not even aware of how frequently I say these things. So some people, they'll take a wide rubber band and kind of write in there, okay, I'll have to. That's what they're going to stop saying. You say, hey, if you hear me say I'll have to, just reach over and give it a little snap, you know, and whap, ooh, it hurts. And you learn. And if you don't learn, then we've got the advanced course in power. Get somebody at work to help you pay attention, and of course pay attention to them. Do it at home. Hey, if you go back to your kids and say, I'll give you 50 cents every time you catch me saying I'll have to, it's amazing how helpful they will be. I definitely invite you to take advantage of the reinforcement materials. Start with one target phrase. Just decide, I'm not going to say I'll have to. I'm going to always say I'll be glad to, I'd like to, I'll be happy to. Start in one place. Take advantage of the reinforcement materials available here tonight. Take a refresher course on tonight and make it an intense one. I also invite you to visit the website where you can download for free. You'll see it's very obvious there that there's a 50-phrase reference card so that you can print it out and have it right by your phone so you can keep track of all 50 phrases. You can do this. It's not easy. It is simple. It is simple to say one by one, these are the phrases I'm going to stop saying, and here's what I'm going to say instead. Especially when you have a partner at home and a partner at work helping you to focus on those phrases. I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here because of the 9th trait of power talkers. I'm here because my dad loved baseball. He was a baseball nut. So I'm a speaker. I'm not doing a good job of explaining this. My dad loved baseball. And in fact, his dream was to be a professional ball player. He grew up in Sacramento, California. And he told me about the day that a scout came out from Detroit to watch. You know, they travel around to the small towns and ask around who's the best ball player in town. And in Sacramento, everybody said, Merle Walther, he's the best ball player. And this scout watched my dad play first base. My dad was a talented guy. And he told me about the situation in which the scout came to his home, and his father, my grandfather John, which was a converted barn in Sacramento, my dad said that the very best day of his life was the day when this baseball scout came and said to his father, Mr. Walther, this boy of yours, Merle, he's a heck of a good first baseman, got long arms, very lanky, throws well, got a great reach, hits well. I want to take him to Detroit. I think he can play in the big leagues. And as my dad described this encounter, he said that his father stood there with his arms crossed and said, I know about those baseball players. They chew tobacco, they drink liquor, they chase women. My dad said, he's here going, yes, yes, women, liquor, yes. But his dad said, not my boy. My boy's going to have a real career. He's going to be an engineer. Walther is a German name. There was no further discussion. My dad became an engineer. For 40 years, my dad worked for the phone company in San Francisco.